How YouTube says it's going. Red Cell Guerrilla. Behind me you can see I got just a bunch of kudzu and shit. And right on the other side is my range where I usually hang out. But I rented a tractor, so I'm out here today doing actual farm work. The sun's not out too much yet, so I'm not even getting on the tractor. It's a little too wet for me to cut grass before I start tilling up a bunch of shit down here. So I figured, let's talk about some stuff. Just because I do have some more tactical stuff, right? So today we're going over tasks. As soon as I find it. There we go. Offensive tasks. Now this is going to be in chapter 2. We're still in chapter 2. Holy shit, I'm taking forever getting all this stuff out, right? Offensive tasks and form and maneuver. Now, some of our offensive tasks as little infantry guys, right? Regular infantry guys. Our movement to contact. Wow. Our movement to contact, the attack, exploitation, and a pursuit. All right, those are offensive tasks. So what is a movement to contact? Let's put it in terms for a guerrilla, right? And then you guys can see that I'm just doing this out the back of my car this morning. I don't have time to fool around. I got a lot of shit to do today on the farm. So what is a movement to contact? Obviously, I'm going to put, the actual definition up here like I always do. But what it means is we're not sure where the enemy is. We're out patrolling to find said enemy. We're moving to make contact with the enemy. And hopefully once we find him... Wow, this was a terrible idea. I think I'm going to switch this mask. Because I thought the bandana would be okay, right? It's not the bandana. It's actually a trifold bandage is what it is. And I've seen them used as headbands typically, not usually an actual bandana around the face. But I thought, you know what, maybe that'll look cool, and I was wrong. It looks like shit, and it feels like it's coming off my face all the time. All right, so movement to contact is, we're not exactly sure where the enemy is. We're going out there basically as a probe to find, hey, is he in this area? Did we get shot at in this area? If we do get shot at, can we take him, right? Part of your OODA loop. Can we take them on our own? Probably not if you're really small, right? And this channel is specifically for the guerrilla. You're probably not doing that, right? You're not going to be doing a movement to contact because we already know where White Cell is. Or if you don't, get online, get on Facebook. They love talking about themselves and love telling people exactly where they are and who they are. I'll be right back because I've got to change this fucking mask out. Alright, we're back with the face you all know and love. I was just, tired of it going into my mouth. I don't want it in my mouth. Okay, so doing a movement to contact, not very smart for a guerrilla force, right? If you're 3 to 6 guys, you should already be doing, and then of course I screwed this up, so now I just look triple dope today. You guys should already be doing a little bit of G2, right? Or S2, or whatever you want to call it. Y'all should be doing that for your area, right? We're not talking about, oh hey, let's go take on White Cell that's outside of our state, or let's go take on White Cell that's at the state level. Why? What are they going to do? Whenever you control your county, the only thing that they can do is send Blue 4 to your area. That's it. That's all they can do. So if you control that county, it don't matter. Right? We saw this with Chaz and Chop and yada yada yada. Yeah, sure, they ran them up later, but they weren't fighting, right? It's easy to round people up whenever they're not fighting back or just don't have the capability to fight back, right? Or if there's just 1 or 2 of them out in the open, right? The whole point of being the guerrilla is not fighting out in the open so people don't know who you are, right? Or at face level don't know who you are. Right? So if you control that county, okay, cool. So they send what? A company-sized element your way? You don't attack that company-sized element whenever it's a company. You would just go do an attack whenever it's 1 or 2 guys going back to the barracks. You take a couple of long shots at that Blue 4 element if they're even bothering you, right? If they're bothering you, then yeah, right? You guys get what you fucking deserve. But if they're not fucking bothering you, then continue attacking white cell, right? Because white cell is the main target. Fuck them. In Minecraft. Alright, and then the next thing would be the attack. Now let's see what I wrote down about the attack right now, because of course I'm going to give you what an attack is right here on the screen. You're going to destroy or defeat enemy forces, seize and secure terrain, right? Or seize and secure terrain. Look, guerrillas are not that big, right? We've all been talking about 3 to maybe 6 dudes on this channel, right? While we're LARPing around in the Minecraft, 3 to 6 guys, you are not seizing and controlling terrain. There's no reason for you to. You're too small and you just need to move around, right? You're not going to seize and control terrain. So what does that leave you? Well, it leaves you destroying the enemy pretty much on a attrition level, right? It takes time. I say it takes time, right? Because literally a sheriff can walk up to anybody he sees and be like, yo, dog, here's a badge. I need you to deputy, right? But that doesn't make you trained. A trained deputy or a trained standing military, right? Because the police force is literally the standing military our founding fathers warned us against, right? They were like, hey, look, we don't want a standing army that is going to be in control of the civilians all the time. Well, that's what they are, right? They're a uniformed military target who is there to enforce white cell's rules and laws upon you at the barrel of a gun and the threat of being put into a cage, right? They're just going to take all your fucking money and put you in a fucking cage, right? So there's not a whole lot of options. You're not going to win in court kind of deal. So why are we even pretending at this point, right? Fight fucking white cell. Doesn't matter. If they, and what do we consider to win? Again, what do we consider to win against white cell? Well, they don't necessarily all have to die. Just go the fuck away, right? I'm cool if you leave. The issue is you want so much power for whatever fucking reason. I just want to be left alone. And you're pissing me the fuck off, right? That's, and not just me, like literally everyone. Just leave people the fuck alone and they won't come after you, right? I mean, how fucking hard is that? Alright, so the attack. War of attrition on the side of the 3 to 6 man guerrilla team, right? Which means we take out 1 or 2 guys and we leave. We come back the next month whenever they think, oh, hey, you know, we're safe. Well, guess how long it takes to train one of these state troopers or a federal agent or whatever, right? Whenever they think they have control of an area. Guess how long it takes to train a soldier, right? 13 weeks for basic. That's not even learning their job, right? For OSIT, that's not even their fucking job, right? If you're going to do OSIT. For an infantryman, oh, cool. Well, you know, we really need another 2 to 6 months after that. We have the basic stuff settled, and now we're going to go do, like, the really cool infantry shit. It takes longer, and then you're supposed to get on-the-job training once you get to your unit. Does that happen? Yeah, sometimes, right? Depends on the unit. If it's an infantry unit, probably okay, right? They'll probably go do some training, right? Or they'll just say, don't worry about it. We fucking know what we're doing because, you know, we're infantry. How hard is it to carry one of these, right? It just depends. It's very unit dependent. All right, so exploitation. Exploitation is something that usually happens after, actually, that might be wrong. Yeah, a pursuit happens after an exploitation. Okay, cool, right? It is an exploitation. Exploitation usually happens after the attack. You're trying to basically rout the enemy. We are disorganizing them, cutting them off from each other, and trying to get rid of them, right? Pursuit only happens if you're chasing somebody down after an attack and then after the exploitation, and then you can find these guys off one by one. You're not going to be doing a pursuit. You're kind of sort of doing an attack and an exploitation at the same time, because depending on your area, there are a lot less blue for. There's definitely a lot less white cell, right? So on white cell, you're just going to be doing an attack and then leaving, right? Why stick around? There's no reason to do anything other than get the main white cell guy, leave their families alone, dependent on age, right? Dependent on age, dependent on views. I think they'll get the fucking message to, oh, you know what? This place is not tenable for me to live anymore. Let's go somewhere else. Cool beans. That's awesome. I want you to go somewhere else. Go live your life. Go live your life away from me and stop trying to infringe upon my liberties, right? That's it. That's all I fucking want, right? But you're not getting the fucking message, because if I say, no, I'm not gonna jump whenever you tell me to jump, and I'm definitely not gonna jump and then ask you how high in the middle of the air, no, because fuck you, right? Why would I fucking do that? I live way the fuck out here, you live way somewhere else. I don't want to do what you tell me to do. And I'm not even being fucking rude about it. I'm just not a piece of shit, right? I don't feel the need to attempt to control somebody else's life. It doesn't make any fucking sense, okay? So, a little bit of a rant, my bad, all right? Okay, so let's get to forms of maneuver. And I want to say, well, the first one's not penetration, but we are going to get to a penetration. All right, an envelopment. And I only wrote half of my notes. That's awesome. So there's an envelopment, and I'm going to have to go get the rest of my notes. Envelopment means we're probably attacking from one side, and what we're doing is cutting off the enemy. I'll put a picture up here. We're cutting off the enemy from other enemy forces, right? So is that something that you can do as a guerrilla? Probably not, right? We're talking about this is a platoon-sized element doing platoon-sized element things, right? Is an envelopment what they'll do to you? Yeah, probably, man. Look out for it. On the guerrilla side, just do your best to not be decisively engaged, because that's an issue. I'm gonna pause this real quick because I do have my books. That's my bad, guys. Okay, so let me see if I can remember these, because there's 5 of them. There's a penetration, which means let's do front attack. So there's front attack. I'll show you front attack. You'll get the definition and all that good shit. Really, you're just, hey, diddle diddle, straight up the middle. This is only used whenever there's a weaker force, right? As a guerrilla, we're probably not doing this, right? You're probably not, because we're doing harassing attacks anyway. You're going to be harassing, which is not a form of maneuver, right? You will probably be doing a flank maneuver, right? Or a bold flanking maneuver, whatever they want to call it. We'll get to the flank attack here in a second. All right, penetration. Probably not doing a penetration either. So whenever so what am I on? 3 out of 5? Okay, cool. So I know the other 2. I feel like there's a 6th one though, right? Penetration, what we're attempting to do is kind of sort of hit somebody from the front. You're going in deep dive and then hitting some of the units from the rear. That's it. So you're kind of finding a weak point in the enemy's area. You're punching through that defense, right? You're coming through and you're hitting his security elements and sending another element up to grab your main target, right? Is that something that you're going to do as a guerrilla? No, it's not something that you're going to do as a guerrilla. Unless you guys are actually like 30 fucking dudes like a regular platoon, 30 to 42 guys like a regular platoon, and one squad's doing one thing, another squad's doing the other thing, and then you have your HD squad and first squad going with your platoon leader and platoon sergeant. They won't all be together, but your platoon leader is probably going with whoever's doing the main attack, right? So he can have the most control in that. Your platoon sergeant is probably going to the next most important area, and then your weapons squad leader is probably going to the 3rd most important area to be the small unit leader there, and then your platoon leader being the other squad leader up there, right? To make sure that things go off without a hitch. You got to lead from the front, right? Because you can't tell unless you actually see what's going on. You can't tell what's going on, right? So are you going to be doing a penetration? No, you're not going to be doing a penetration. Well, there's this other thing called infiltration. Let's talk about infiltration of an area just for a second. Now, the point of an infiltration is to kind of blend in with the local populace, right? You're trying to get into the enemy's area without him noticing you, This is a clandestine type attack. Clandestine, I don't fucking care, guys. Right? This is a clandestine attack. You're doing a covert penetration. You might not have all of your big stuff. Maybe perhaps you had somebody that the enemy trusts move your big stuff in there, or you're just getting in through the woods or whatever. Or perhaps, because you're a guerrilla, you already live there, right? We're talking about white cell and blue 4. Perhaps you already live there. And it sounds like somebody's on my property and I don't like that. So, okay, they're next door. No big deal. It's just the neighbors. And they don't care. They know I'm out here doing stupid things, right? And they'll see me out on the tractor and just wave. Okay, so an infiltration. Well, that sounds very much like what we're trying to do, because we're out here trying to play Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid fucking 5 out here in Appalachistan, right? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 6 guys max, and get out there, infiltrate where we need to be, right? So an infiltration. Probably how we would attack as guerrillas. All right, so what is the next thing? If it's just 5, then it's the turning. It's basically the, oh yeah, I don't think I went over turning maneuver. Okay, so it's got to be 6, right? So there's a turning maneuver. I'll put that up here. It's not really a big deal for guerrillas. You're not going to be doing a turning maneuver. You're not large enough to push the enemy somewhere else, right? You're not large enough. Also, we're not fighting the infantry, right? I get it. I get it, Bear. I get it, Krisky. I get it, you know, fucking Black Bear Defense or whoever the fuck else is out there. You're not fighting the infantry, right? I mean, all sorts of bad is happening if the government sends infantry at you, right? Even if it's National Guard infantry, right? All sorts of bad is happening if they do that, and if they do that, they're still considered blue 4, continue doing the same things that you do, right? I mean, you're fighting for your life. I don't give a fuck about the soul of the nation. Soul of the nation is gone, right? It's been gone. White cell doesn't give a fuck. They're not Americans, right? White cell, in their thoughts, in their actions, in their deeds, they are not Americans. They're not pro-America. They're not for America. They're definitely not for any of you who think you're for America, right? So, white cell, again, that's who we're trying to get rid of. If we can stay away from blue 4 or even maintain ties with blue 4, cool beans, man. But blue 4 is always going to go back to doing exactly what white cell tells them to do. And I say this because, you know, there was a young lady who was a widower in Appalachistan, right? Here's a very small, and I'll find the picture. She was in Appalachistan and couldn't make ends meet. She was a widow. Her husband died in, I want to say World War II, could have been World War I. You can't really tell because Appalachistan is one of those places where once you're in the hills and you're with us hill people, all of our shit's so old, a lot of us are still like semi-40s, semi-50s thinking, right? Where we're like, well, yeah, the guy should provide for his family, right? Mom shouldn't have to stay home if she doesn't want to, but somebody got to take care of the kids, and that just makes the most sense to have mama do it, right? Because she's the one that gave birth, she nurtures, she helps them learn all those cool things, right? Why would you not want to be in control of your very own family? It doesn't make sense to do anything else. They grow their own food, they do their own things. Well, she owned her house, and some white cell member was like, you know what, I want your property, I want your land, right? So the sheriff came by and was like, you know what, young lady and baby, we're going to evict you. You know what happened? 2 other just regular fucking guys were like, what the hell's going on over here? Why are you talking to Barbara? Oh, you're here to evict Barbara. Cool beans. Let's beat the fucking daylights out of you. Did you get the message? Get the fuck out of here. Right? That's it. That's it. You're not protecting anybody. You're not protecting anybody, right? If you're a Blue 4 member, you're there to do fucking white cells bidding, right? That's That's just it, man. Right? If you haven't caught on to that, and even if you have caught on to that and you're like, well, you know, I don't make the laws, I'll just enforce them. Okay, buddy, I got you. Expect lead to come your way because of your thought process of, I will be an obedient dog to evil people. Right? That's it. Just expect it. That's on you. Right? I'm telling you now, get out of that fucking game. We're tired of your bullshit. Right? You're literally the armed force of white cell. We're fucking tired of it. Alright. Now what's the last one I can think of before I get the fuck out of here? Because I might be wrong. There might not. There might be another one after this. But the bold flank. Right? This is the bold flanking maneuver. This is where you have a base of fire in one area, and then you come up and you are attacking the enemy from the flank, from the side. Right? One of your elements comes up, attacks the enemy from the side, and then pushes through. Now, can you do this with 6 dudes? Yeah, I would probably use a base of fire of 2 minimum, and we're talking about fighting very small other units, right? We're talking about singling out, finding, fixing, and finishing one at a time, one singular white cell, or one singular blue fort. That's it, right? And that's only if the blue fort is in the way. But that one singular white cell, you find, fix with your support by fire, and then finish with your assault. And then you lift fire, shift fire, and cease fire while your assault comes through and cleans up the area. And then you're gonna hit your limit of advance, and we'll get into all that other stuff. All right, so those are, and I'm probably going way over, I am way over. Those are the forms of maneuver, right? And the, like I said, guys, memory of a goldfish, offensive tasks, right? So those are your offensive tasks and forms of maneuver. What is the guerrilla going to do in offensive tasks? Probably attack, right? Maybe exploitation, and maybe pursuit. Just depends on who it is. If it's white cell, yeah, sure, probably pursuit. White cell is, even if they're shooting back at you, probably not in a great position to do so. They do a great job of making themselves be above others. So unless they have their very own protection, which is probably unlikely in a county level, probably highly unlikely in the county. So, you know, not a difficult target. These are soft targets, and that's exactly why guerrillas go after them, right? That's exactly why you go after white cell. Blue 4, it just depends. Are they coming after you? We'll figure it out, right? I would say don't wait too long if you're in contact, right? But again, guerrilla style fighting, once contact is made, retreat. That's it. That's all you do. Oh, well, let's not get decisively engaged. Let's bound out, right? The thing is, like, don't turn yourself in, because nobody is going to help you. You're fucking stupid if you think that, right? I think somebody did that in New Jersey or some shit, like a while back. I don't know who the fuck they thought they were. They had, you know, all kinds of crazy shit going on, and they were, you know, wearing military gear, but they not once shot at the guys chasing them, right? And then they just got arrested. Are you fighting for your freedom, or are you playing a game, right? And it's an issue, right? That's an issue. Are we playing a game in Minecraft? Are we just building houses in Minecraft? Or are we actually trying to stay free in Minecraft, right? So it's not going to help anybody. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help me. It's not going to help your family, right? If you start playing a game and then say, never mind, we're done. I don't want to play a game. I don't actually want to play a game. I'm just, I'm getting off the server. I get it, man. It's real life. Real life is hard. You only got one life, right? So you definitely got to pick and choose. What are you actually doing, and when are you actually doing it, right? I'm obviously not telling anybody to go do anything right now, right? What good would it do? That doesn't make any sense. You're already the bad guy, right? If you're already a bad guy, just be the fucking bad guy. Nobody's going to think any different whether you do it or don't do it, right? You're bad for existing. Doesn't fucking matter. You're the bad guy for existing. Doesn't matter if you served. Doesn't matter if you didn't serve. Doesn't matter if you're trying to be the best that you can be. The color revolution that white cell is pushing in order to get a communist state, you're already the bad guy of that. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Just be the fucking bad guy at this point. You know? So, plan, prep, prepare, whatever. Grow your own food, like I always fucking tell you. Homeschool your children. Take them out shooting. And do your best to stay the fuck away from white cell, where they have very little control, right? At least they'll leave you alone if you're out in the hills somewhere. What are they going to do? Bring a tank in to Appalachian? I mean, they could try, but I've seen what the tanks do. Lieutenants get stuck in mud, right? In those, especially the new tanks. They just get stuck in mud, right? Our bridges can't fucking hold the weight of a tank. They're not going to send a fucking tank out here. Maybe they'll send, you know, a JLTV or some shit, but they're not going to send a fucking tank out here, right? All right, that's it. That's all I got, you know, in transmission. How long I got? 40-ish minutes. It ain't gonna matter anyway. Whoo, shit. It's fucking bright. Yeah. Yeah, I'm backing up.